In this video, I'm going to show you one of the most underutilized campaigns and just strategies in general in Google Ads. This single campaign strategy in Google Ads has driven over 168 conversions for this brand on just $8,000 in spend, driving lower CPMs, lower CPCs, and overall more awareness, along with more average conversions than this brand is able to drive on Facebook. And everyone knows I believe that Facebook is still the best way to drive new customer acquisition. However, this single campaign setup that I'm going to break down in full in Google Ads is competing with even some of the most broad strategies across Facebook ads. So the example I have on my screen right now is very straightforward. We've spent $8,000 on this strategy. We've driven 168 conversions. That's been done at a $2.35 cost per click and a $9.85 CPM. If you know anything about all the other ad platforms, you could almost guarantee that a $9.85 CPM is very, very hard to get, especially when you're actually driving conversions in a conversion-based campaign. This is a demand gen campaign, and demand gen completely changed just a few months ago. The key difference with demand gen before to now is that you were able to customize your asset groups and actually customize your placements within demand gen. I'm going to show you exactly how to set this up and then what creatives you actually need to put in this campaign to make it successful. Okay, so first off, in Google Ads, click the new campaign setup, select a sales campaign, and make sure your purchase event is just one action. In this case, you can clearly see it is Shopify purchases. Click continue and select your campaign type as demand gen. And for your product feed, make sure you have a product feed enabled. This is something most people disable. This enabled will actually allow us to show our products alongside our short or alongside our long form video. Your campaign goal is going to be conversions, and your conversion goal is only going to be purchases. There is no exception for this. You're only running purchases. Do not run add to carts, do not run initiate checkouts, do not run clicks, just conversions. For your target cost per action, we are starting at blank. We are not setting this at first. After 2 to 4 weeks of running this campaign, you can go ahead and insert your target cost per action based on your CPA, your cost per acquisition goal. Next is our daily budget. Now, our daily budget can be set in a whole lot of different ways. If you have no idea where to start, make it one time your average cost per acquisition. So if your average cost per acquisition is $50, set your daily budget to just 50. If you want to be aggressive, then go beyond that. For example, in this case, I want to drive more than one conversion per day. I want to get results quickly. So I'm going to jump this up from 50 to 150, which should get me in the ballpark of around 3 conversions per day and ideally get better over time. Next piece is brand guidelines. Now, brand guidelines aren't too critical. In fact, you can leave them completely blank and just leave all of your main colors and accent colors as blank. However, if you're a brand that has specific colors, specific tones that you really want to follow, then just enter them in here, grab those hex codes, and then also enter in the specific font that applies to your brand the most. If you don't know, keep it all blank. It's completely fine. The next piece of this is location and language. Now, you could technically set this at the ad set, but for this brand that we're working on here, we're doing everything the same, meaning we're targeting all the countries that we have at one level, which is just the United States, and we're only targeting English-speaking people. I like to enable campaign level location and language targeting. However, it doesn't really matter. And then when you go down to devices, you are going to keep this on show on all eligible devices. This is the big difference. This is the key that you need to understand. We are going to be setting this at the ad level, which is brand new. So once our campaign is set up, we're then going to move on to our ad group number 1. Now, at this point, what I recommend to do is just set your ad group names based on the creative that we're talking about. However, just to keep it simple, since we're just starting this out, one ad group is completely fine, and I'm just going to leave this name as is. The next piece is choosing our product groups. Make sure whichever ads you are going to be uploading are going to match the specific products. This is really important. This is the only case where you'd create multiple ad groups. For example, if you were selling shoes, you might have running shoes and lifestyle shoes. So you would name ad group number 1 running shoes, and you'd name ad group number 2 lifestyle shoes. And then in that case, you would choose the specific products that only match the running shoes or the lifestyle shoes. The next piece of this is channels. And as you can see, it is in beta, and this is very important. If we leave all channels on, this means that Google has the freedom to spend our cash across all its demand gen channels. Now, if you click let me choose, you're going to see a bunch of different channels available. I highly recommend you only use YouTube. So we're going to untick Discovery, Gmail, and Google Display Network. We're only focused on Shorts, feed and stream. If you want to test Discover, if you want to test Gmail, if you want to test Google Display Network, create a new ad group, label it Discover, label it Gmail, label it GDN or Google Display Network, and only test that one piece. The problem is if we mix this all together, you get all sorts of different varying results. What I've seen so far is by just selecting these pieces, you get the best results. Now, keep in mind, in the next step, we're actually going to be able to choose where we want these to show, depending on the placement, which I'll get to in just a second. So we have YouTube only on, and then we get down to our audience section. Our audience section is up to you. When you click add an audience here, you're going to notice I have a bunch of audiences that we've run over time. What I would generally recommend doing is clicking a new audience and entering in your custom segments and your data. So all of your Shopify visitors, all of your Shopify purchasers, even seed lists. We just want to give Google some idea of who actually purchases your product. You could, if you wanted to, exclude certain demographics. For example, let's say we only want to target women, then we'd uncheck male and unknown and we'd only target female. However, again, what I've seen to be most successful is by targeting all. If you're a brand that truly only needs to target men or only needs to target females, then go ahead and unselect or select those. Once you select your audience, you can just go ahead and put it in here. You'll notice it has a little tag that says signal. This is literally just the seed for what your audience will actually be. This is not the only audience that you're targeting. It's going to go beyond it. The next piece is called optimize targeting. This is also important. If you made any exclusions or if you selected only a specific gender or an age in your audience, then you have to unselect optimize targeting. If you select this, then it's allowed to actually go into those audience segments that you excluded or that you did not choose. For example, if you chose female only, it can actually go into the male cohort and try to get conversions for you there. Generally, if you're broad, this works better. If you're narrow, this does not work as well. And now the one additional box that is very new here is you can click optimize targeting and only show ads to people within my age and gender specifications. To be honest with everyone, I'm not going to BS here. This is not something I have clear data on if it works better or worse. Every single recommendation on this channel and anywhere that you hear from me, it's always coming from hard facts. So for now, play with this if you want. I don't think it's going to be a big factor of success or not. And now that we're done with the ad group, we can go to ads. Now the important part before we go into ads is how do we figure out which ads to run? This is the key workflow to this strategy. This strategy is pulling our best performing ads from Facebook and pulling them into YouTube. So the way that we're finding our best performing ads on Facebook is very important. When we go into our Facebook platform, we're going to columns, compare additional attribution settings, incremental attribution, apply. Once we're here, we're looking for the ads that have spent the most and the ads that have driven the most amount of purchases at or better than our average cost per purchase. Now, very simply put, we're looking for our best ads incrementally. We're only looking for the ads that drive new customer acquisition. We don't care about the ads that drove existing customer purchases. We only care about those driving new customers. So what I do, incremental attribution, which is right here. I'm looking at the top ads. We can see we have number 1, we have number 2 right here. We have number 3 right here. Not so much of a winner anymore because this cost per purchase is getting too high. We have number 4 right here, effective cost per purchase. Number 5 right here. That's probably where I would end for now. These 5 ads, because they have strong average cost per purchases, which are under our average, and they have high volume in total amount spent. Once we locate our ads, we're going back to the Google Ads platform and we're setting up our ads in Google as either shorts, longs, or whatever they are. First things first, enter your final URL properly. Make sure you're setting your correct website. Next, when it comes to videos, you're going to click add, or if you've already uploaded it to YouTube, you're going to upload that video to YouTube. Great thing now is you can literally click upload right here, drag and drop your imagery, and it's automatically going to be associated as unlisted to your YouTube channel, making it very easy to upload. Next is once you have your ad, if you're running similar variations, it's okay to select multiple of the same ads at once. For example, I could select all 5 right here. Now, if you have a variety of different ads, completely different, set them up as individual ads. For this example, I'm just going to go with the 5. And then the key thing you need to do, which I've been hinting at the entire time, is click choose where your videos show. So if we take a look at the top video here, we can see it says prefer on all formats. We can then change that to just show on individual formats. And this is where the performance has been drastically improved over all historical demand gen, over all historical YouTube performance that I've seen for e-commerce brands. So for me, it's as simple as this. You match the format to the preferred format of YouTube. For example, if I have a vertical video, aka a short, then I'm unselecting everything and I'm keeping shorts. And as we go down the list, in this case, all of these are shorts, so this actually gets easier and easier. And if we just had these 3 videos right here in the shorts format, for the most part, they're only going to show up like so in the actual shorts format. And I know you guys can't completely see this ad, but it is a full screen, full length ad. Now, if I had a long video, I could then switch that to click in stream, in feed, and remove shorts. That would be much better for longer form horizontal videos. What I would also recommend is not mixing and matching like I am right here. I would have all of my shorts in one ad unit or multiple ad units, and then I have all my in-stream / feed in one ad unit or multiple ad units. The last thing I would like to do is mix when I'm pushing multiple ads into the same ad at the same time. It's a lot of sames, it's a lot of ads in that sentence. So to make sure I'm really clear, don't mix shorts with in-stream and feed in the same unit. Now right here for asset optimization, if you have the correct sizes, if you have the correct videos, I would always recommend unchecking resize videos and shorter videos. And in fact, this strategy really doesn't work unless you have the right sizes, unless you have the good videos. So I would most of the time uncheck these. For your headlines, long headlines, and descriptions, always include max 5 out of 5. You want to have all 5 headlines, all 5 long headlines, all 5 descriptions all the time. This is going to give the most variety of ads, which is going to significantly help you get the best cost per result from Google. And then for your call to action, I am both ways on this, to be honest. You can either go shop now or automated. I've seen automated work tremendously well because it will bounce around between learn more, order now, and shop now. But I've also seen shop now just being the most direct and generally works the best. Now, once you wrap up your call to action, enter your business name, and if you have applicable site links beyond your normal account site links, enter them here. That is the core thing that you need to focus on. So far, we've seen tremendous results from this. This has been applicable for somewhere around 2 to 3 months, and it has been on fire. It is something I expect to do super, super well in the fourth quarter and beyond in 2026. I'd highly recommend firing this up, especially if you want to get a little bit more out of those best performing Facebook ads. That is all for this video. And as you may have noticed, this is a brand new channel specifically dedicated to Google videos only. So if you've seen me before and you think you subscribed, check again because you may have not subscribed before, and hit that subscribe button because it means a whole lot as we're growing this one from 0. Thanks. See you in the next one.